So, good morning, it's good to see you all, and today I really look forward to welcoming all the NATO leaders to our summit. We meet at a pivotal moment for our alliance, and today we'll open a new chapter in our transatlantic relationship. Leaders will discuss a wide range of issues, among them Russia, and our relationship with Russia is at its lowest point since the end of the Cold War. This is due to Russia's aggressive actions. I am confident that the NATO leaders will confirm our dual-track approach to Russia, strong defense combined with dialogue. And I'm sure that the NATO leaders will welcome the opportunity to consult with President Biden ahead of his meeting with President Putin. We'll also address China. There are, of course, opportunities, and we need to engage with China on issues like climate change, arms control. But China's military buildup, growing influence and coercive behavior also poses some challenges to our security, and we need to address them together as an alliance. On this background, NATO leaders will today agree an ambitious forward-looking agenda, the NATO 2030 agenda. This is about how to reinforce our collective defense, how to strengthen our resilience and sharpening our technological edge, and for the first time in NATO's history, also make climate and security an important task for our alliance. To do all of this, we need to resource our higher level of ambition. And therefore we need to invest more. I welcome that we are on a good track. We have now 7 consecutive years of increased defense spending across Europe and Canada. And these allies have added in total 260 billion extra US dollars for defense. I'm also confident that NATO leaders will agree to invest more together to meet our higher level of ambition. This is a force multiplier, and it demonstrates the unity of our alliance. So altogether, I'm absolutely certain that the decisions we will make today, they will send a strong message of unity, of resolve, and that we are making NATO stronger in an age of global competition. Then I'm ready for your questions.
Okay, we'll start at the back. Mr. Secretary General, do you expect President Biden and Erdogan to reach a deal today on keeping protecting the airport travel?
So we are ending our military mission in Afghanistan, but we will continue to support the Afghans and provide support to the Afghan security forces. We will do that partly through our civilian presence, where we will provide support, advice to the Afghan security institutions. We will continue to provide funding for the Afghan security forces. That is a commitment that all allies have made. And then we're also now working on how we can provide out-of-country training for the Afghan security forces. And we're also working on how can we maintain, support critical infrastructure, including the airport. NATO is planning to provide support, and also some NATO allies are now in direct dialogue, including the United States, Turkey, and others, on how to make sure that we can maintain an international airport in Kabul. This is, of course, important for NATO allies, but it's also important for the whole international community, for diplomatic presence, and also for continued development aid. So, yes, we are ending our military presence. We have been there for almost 20 years. The intention was never to be there forever. We are clear-eyed about the risks that the decision to end our military presence entails, but at the same time we will continue to support the Afghans.
How concerned are you about Russia, and isn't it time to put more pressure on it?
So we see a pattern of Russian behavior, of aggressive actions against the neighbors, Ukraine, Georgia, but also cyber attacks, hybrid attacks, poisoning, including against allies. And of course, this is something that has led to the deterioration of the relationship between NATO and Russia, and our relationship is now at the lowest point since the end of the Cold War. But NATO is adapting, NATO is responding. We have already implemented the biggest reinforcement of collective defense with higher readiness, with battle groups in the eastern part of the alliance, and increased defense spending every year since 2014. And we will continue to reinforce our collective defense, and we will do that through the decisions we make today as part of the NATO 2030 agenda. But we will also continue to strive for dialogue with Russia. And dialogue is not a sign of weakness. Dialogue is actually a sign of strength. As long as we are united, as long as we are strong, then we can talk to Russia. And therefore, I welcome the fact that President Biden will meet President Putin. Arms control is an important topic. NATO welcomes the extension of the New START agreement, and we need to work for further progress in the arms control efforts. Let me just end by saying that we are united, and that's the most important message we are sending to Russia, that they are not able to divide us. We are united in our message, deterrence and defense combined with dialogue.
Interview?
Secretary General, what is the message you want to convey to China today?
The message is that, of course, there are opportunities in our relationship with China, and for instance, on arms control and climate change, we need to talk to China. At the same time, what we have seen over now several years is a significant military buildup by China, investing heavily in new military capabilities, including nuclear capabilities and also more advanced weapon systems. We see coercive behavior, for instance in the South China Sea. And we also know that China does not share our values. We see how they crack down on democratic protests in Hong Kong and also persecute minorities in their own country, and use modern technology, social media, facial recognition to monitor and surveillance their own population in a way we've never seen before. All of this matters for our security. And no country and no continent can deal with this alone. So therefore we need to respond together as an alliance, as NATO. And that's exactly what we do. I would like also to highlight that this is very, very much about what we do at home. Because China is coming closer to us. I'll just wait a moment. China is coming closer to us. We see them in cyberspace. We see China in Africa, in the Arctic, but we also see China investing heavily in our own critical infrastructure and trying to control it. We have seen the discussions about 5G, Huawei, and that's the reason why the NATO 2030 agenda is so important, because that agenda is about strengthening our resilience, it's about investing more in technology, and it is also about making sure that we step up when it comes to cyber defenses. So I expect allies to agree the NATO 2030 agenda. I also expect allies to agree language in the communique. And you have to remember that 18 months ago, that was the first time NATO had language on China at all. In our current strategic concept, China is not mentioned with a word. At the summit in London in December 2019, we had one sentence addressing China. This time it will be a clear position, united position by allies on China, showing that we have seen a convergence of views among allies over the last months.
Secretary General, on China, are we entering a new Cold War when it comes to China? And the second question, if I may, French President Emmanuel Macron declared NATO brain dead you guys at NATO today?
We are not entering a new Cold War, and China is not our adversary, not our enemy, but we need to address together as an alliance the challenges that the rise of China poses to our security. NATO is the strongest, the most successful alliance in history. We have proven again and again that we're able to change when the world is changing. Over the last years, we have implemented the biggest adaptation of NATO since the end of the Cold War. We will continue to adapt with the decisions we are making today. And I really welcome also this opportunity to open a new chapter in the transatlantic relationship with the United States, Canada, North America, and Europe working together in NATO.
Is it also exciting?
How has the job changed since President Trump has left the White House and Joe Biden has become the American president? And the second question, this probably will be the last time we discuss America. Do you have a kind of farewell message to her, and how does it affect NATO?
I welcome the fact that we have a president of the United States who is strongly committed to NATO, to North America and Europe working together in NATO. And I met President Biden in the White House this week, and he expressed extremely was a high level of confidence in our transatlantic bond. And I look forward also to welcome him now to the summit. And of course, that is a good message to all allies. Let me also add that I think that what we have seen over the last 4 years is the importance of strong multilateral institutions like NATO. And that an institution, an organization like NATO goes beyond individual leaders. Because there's no reason to hide that we had some challenging discussions over the last 4 years. At the same time, NATO proved that we continued to work, that we continued to deliver on our core task, deterrence and defense. And we will have always different political leaders, but with strong institutions, a strong NATO, we can weather different political winds, and we have a cooperation, an alliance, a partnership that goes beyond individual leaders. And for me, that's just an extra argument for making sure that we maintain the strong bond in NATO between North America and Europe. Then on Chancellor Merkel, I only said that I'm looking forward to welcoming her to the meeting. I have had the privilege of working with her for many years, since actually both became Chancellor and Prime Minister back in 2005. And she is a strong supporter of our transatlantic bond, and a leader that has really helped to strengthen the alliance and the cooperation between North America and Europe.
Last question, please.
Yes, Secretary General, we want an increase of the common funding of NATO. France is against it. Don't you feel that the discussion about this will overshadow this summit?
The allies will today agree a program and agenda for NATO with higher ambitions, where we're going to do more on how to strengthen our collective defense, resilience, technology, and working more with partners, including with the European Union. And to do so, we need to make sure that we have resources that are matching this high level of ambition. That is partly to, of course, continue to invest more in our national defense budgets. But I'm confident that when leaders meet, they will also agree that we need to fully resource our higher level of ambition, also by spending more, investing more together in NATO. And this is about all the three budgets of NATO: the military budget, the civilian budget, and the investments budget. And these investments will enable us to increase readiness, have more exercises, invest more in pre-positioned equipment, work more closely with partners, train capacity building, and also command and control, and many other areas which are important for our alliance, for all of us. Spending together is a force multiplier. Spending together is an efficient way of working together. And again, I'm confident that when we meet, we will agree that we need additional funding. We need to meet this high level of ambition, and there is a need to increase NATO's common funded budgets.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.